بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. اللهم ربنا تقبل صيامنا وقيامنا وصلاتنا ودعاءنا. اللهم ربنا اعتقنا من النيران في هذا الشهر الكريم واجعلنا من عتقائك من النيران في هذا الشهر الكريم يا رب العالمين. Ya Allah, accept our worship. Ya Allah, accept our salat and our qiyam and our dua. Ya Allah, make us and bless us to be among those who free from the hellfire in this blessed Ramadan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describing the people who's been honored to have the title of Ibadu ar-Rahman. And subhanallah is like someone he's been working hard and advanced in his career. Every time when he advanced and they, to promote this person, they give him a title. The promoting in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to have the title of Ibadu ar-Rahman. Abdur Rahman, the servant of the most merciful. So imagine someone, he comes in the day of judgment and he has a title, Everyone is titled, this Abdur Rahman, min Ibadur Rahman. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala given us the attributes and the characteristics of these blessed, noble servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you look at all the characteristics that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, and we try to reflect on them, we'll find like there is one main character which really into every of these actions. So for example, someone is say, oh mashallah, he prays, he fasts, he gives a sadaqah, he makes qiyamul layl, he does, she does. But there is something that it drives all that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the first thing that He said when He describing Ibadur Rahman, قَالَ الَّذِينَ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ هَوْنًا, those who walk very lightly, that's the sign of modesty. And not people who are attracted to the earth. People who are like, subhanallah, light, free, modest. And then, وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا, when being addressed by the ignorant one to argue with them, they said peace. And this peace, subhanallah, is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instruction and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam teachings how to not engage in a dispute that is going to cause the hurting of your feeling without getting get anywhere. Because people who are stubborn, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, قَالَ فَإِن تَوَلَّوْا فَإِنَّمَا عَلَيْكَ الْبَلَاغُ. If they turn away, you have conveyed. Do not insist, because the keys of the heart is in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is a story of Imam al-Hasan al-Basri. He has a neighbor. And this neighbor, he was from the people of the book. He always, bothering Imam Hassan al-Basri, throwing things on his yard. So Al-Hasan cleaned it, but it's like want to argue, to provoke Al-Imam. So the day he didn't throw anything, he wanted to knock the door. They told him he's sick. So he wanted to visit him. But his sickness, it was a serious sickness. It was, it was at his deathbed. So he told him, you know the truth. Say it. He said, I wish. So Imam Hassan started to talk to him about the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that person, his heart getting softened and softened, and then he said, the key just arrived. قال وصل المفتاح يا إمام. The key of the heart is not in the hand of the Imam, is not in the hand of the Prophet ﷺ that he could not guide his ankle. قال المفتاح قد وصل. And he said the Shahada and he died on the Shahada. And this is, subhanallah, the way of the believer. They make Qiyamul Layl, and their Qiyamul Layl, their focus is to be saved from the hellfire, the biggest calamity ever of our existence. Wallahi, whatever you see in this life, if someone will live all his life in misery, difficulty, it will not be compared to 1 second looking at hellfire. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala قال in the ayah in Surah Al-Furqan, we were reading yesterday, بل أعتدنا الذين قال حتى سمعوا لها تغيظا وزفيرا. From a distance, a big distance, in some of the narration, like hundreds of years, they hear the roaring of hellfire. That's erase everything. Imagine someone, he's coming to punishment and hearing the punishment from a distance of hundreds of years or 4 years. But that's their concern. And then when they give in a balanced way. They do not waste and they're not greedy. They give, but they will not let themselves be needy or to deprive their family. And that is the balance. Of course, they don't do shirk, they don't commit zina, they don't kill, and that is obvious for a believer on this path. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala قال, they do not witness with falsehood, they do not sit with people who talk vain talk, and they do, when you remind them with ayat Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they do not neglect it. When they make sujood, they make it sujood in khushu'. وَإِذَا ذُكِّرُوا بِآيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ لَمْ يَخِرُّوا عَلَيَّ صُمًّا وَعِمْيًا. They will not pass by it. You say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, said, yeah, alhamdulillah, but the heart is not there at all. And then these people, they want to be role model, to be the light as we have explained. That's yesterday. To be the light. Make from our family to be the delight of our eyes, and make us to be good model for the believer. Ya Allah. Imagine if you are a good model for the believer, how great you will be for the non-believers. If you look at them all, there is one characteristic that makes the drive of all this action. The first one is humbleness. The second one is the khushu'. Humbleness is to be a modest person, not someone seeking for arrogance. Whoever who has that seed of arrogance, he always look up to the dunya. Because the dunya is the scene, is the platform, is the podium where people, they're going to show off. When you are modest, you don't need that. Then people of the dunya, they call you for their dunya, you say peace, modesty. The second is the khushu'. The khushu' is that devotion. You have a relation with Allah. You have a veneration to Allah. When the name of Allah mentioned, you feel fear in your heart. You feel something shakes in your heart. Look, people, for example, young kids, they're really scared from their parents. If you tell them, I'm going to talk to your parents. At the name of the parents, they're scared. They said, okay, please do not tell them. That's how the believer with Allah, when they mention the Allah, not that fear, that type of fear, but it shakes, that the devotion. So you find them getting to Allah at any time when they have time. So it's the time in the night where there is no work, so they stay the whole night or part of the night praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This characteristic of modesty and humbleness and khushu', that devotion and focus, is what make them to be Ibadur Rahman. So if you apply these two together, these two aspects, in one's believer, you will find that person, he always is trying to make Qiyamul Layl. He has time. You'll find him looking forward where he's to put his sadaqah. You find him, just avoiding that vain talk, that people who talk about, nothing. It's a waste of his time, of her time. And these are the two characteristics that we need to really work on and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this coming last 10 days, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, to help us gain such characteristic and such, virtue in ourselves. Ibadur Rahman, from Ibadur Rahman, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us example. And I'll give you 3 examples, short, to help us understand the effect of the humbleness and of the khushu', devotion, into the life of a believer. The first example and the 3 examples are, they comes one after the other in Surah Al-Shu'ara. You see how the Quran is very, very, subhanallah, completing each other. So Al-Furqan, you start Al-Shu'ara, and here you have the example of Ibadur Rahman. The first are the magician of Fir'aun, the Sahara. When Fir'aun threatened them, they already have the full khushu' with Allah, that's it. What they said, قالوا لا ضير, no harm. I want you to reflect on that no harm. That's the depth of humbleness and khushu'. No harm. I'm going to kill you, I'm going to do this, I'm going to cut your hands and legs from opposite, I'm going to crucify you on the trees. And said, no harm. The answer of the sorcerers, it is defeat for Pharaoh. Because when someone is scared, that's where he triumphed. But when someone is not scared, that's when they defeated him. Even them, he have killed them, but they defeated them. Because they قالوا إنما تقضي هذه الحياة الدنيا. You're only going to do your business, if you can say, in this life. That's it. And then we'll see where you're going to be. لا ضير. The second example, and لا ضير, in that strength of khushu', and look that humbleness. إنا نطمع. We are longing. We wish, we craving that Allah forgive us our sins. The second is Musa alayhi salam. The whole people, they were so scared. إِنَّا لَمُدْرَكُونَ قَالَ كَلَّا. I want you to reflect on kalla. Nay, it's not going to happen. You see that moment of safety, of firmness, of feeling, subhanallah, strong in the time of adversity, that those are Ibadur Rahman. Kalla, no. With me, Allah is going to guide me. If someone, for example, can say such a thing, if someone, for example, he's never present in his prayer, he prays, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, go up, down, And then the last time, maybe he did Qiyamul Layl last Ramadan, maybe. Or maybe last Ramadan he was working, or it's too late, so maybe they didn't. And which is mean they are far from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The heart is far. They are close with the body, but the heart is far. Can these people, when they have problem, they say, Kalla inna ma'i rabbi sayyidin? Only the one can say it who's really in a close connection. I just met Allah. When you say, you look back, when did you meet Allah? At least I met Him in the last prayer. I was there. So Allah is with me. I'm mindful of Allah. Kalla inna ma'i rabbi sayyidin. That's obvious. That's why Musa was like, Kalla, what you talking about? The third example is Ibrahim. So la dayr, you see it, the effect of Ibadur Rahman. Kalla, you see it in the effect of Musa of Ibadur Rahman, from the servant of the Most Merciful, alayhi salam. Then Ibrahim, alayhi salam. Ibrahim, all his, when his people are arguing him, he didn't say, you are this and you are wrong, you are, subhanallah, he was enjoying saying Allah's attributes. Enjoying saying Allah's attribute. قال الذي خلقني فهو يهدين والذي هو يطعمني ويسقين وإذا مرضت فهو يشفين. And you see, subhanallah, that humbleness of Ibrahim, that calmness of Ibrahim, that the way he speaks, that's the true high peak of Ibadur Rahman. And then the modesty comes, he is the friend of Allah, but still he's craving, Ya Allah, I wish that you forgive me. So imagine when you're talking to these people who guarantee their salvation, and he said, وَالَّذِي يُمِيتُنِي ثُمَّ يُحْيِينِ وَالَّذِي أَطْمَعُ. And after he rejected, I wish, I crave, I'm longing that he forgive me. He said, this is the God that we believe. At least our gods guarantee for us everything. But when he said, your God does not exist, it's a lie. But my true God is, I'm always craving and wishing to embrace me in his rahmah. And in these three examples, if you just keep them as a reference in our life, to really refer to the meaning of Ibadur Rahman. For may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honor us with the title of Ibadur Rahman, and honor us with the action of the Ibadur Rahman, and honor us with that sakina and safety in our life, and shield us from the hellfire. Jazakumullahu khairan, and to the